Arsenal, nothing personal.
That's a big win, isn't it? You see the atmosphere, it's fucking unbelievable.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Gooners podcast. I really wanted to start this saying, this has been a fucking amazing. What what did he say? Fucking amazing thing. Yeah. But to start off, this has been an amazing week. Yeah, Arun's not cutting me off, but he is showing something.
He's distracting you enough.
He's distracting me enough. But to start off,
I know I don't have the goods to distract you, but just the t-shirts, you know.
And I thought that we were a family friendly podcast. No, we are not.
It's still family friendly.
But yeah, as usual, Arun's with me. Hi, Arun.
Hello.
Bob's with me. Bob, hi.
Everybody.
And Deepak, hi, Deepak.
Hello.
So before we start, Bob has been very strict with me about this, that I should be mentioning that everyone please do subscribe to the channel, like, share, and comment in anything that you want us to discuss. Right, Bob? I said that.
Right?
Yeah. But Bob, let me start with you.
Now let's just wait for people.
No, that's not gonna happen. But Bob, with this victory, let me start with this, right? Is it personal now, or is it nothing personal yet? Let's start with going back about Auba's thing, right? Like, I mean, we started with actually asking the question that he was asking, but I wanted to go back a little bit on that Auba's thing. Does that actually impact how this game turned out for you? Like, I mean, does that impact a lot of the emotions around the game for you?
I think when we discussed this in the preview, almost everyone in the panel who had joined in were almost sure that Auba was going to be on the score sheet. And look how it turned out, right? So nothing personal here, but still the point is Arteta took it very personally. Because, I mean, even for any other game, maybe we could have dropped down our intensity, in the second half or something, like how we've been recently doing in some of these games. But, Arteta, credit to him. He completely took it on, and the team was just, bombarding Chelsea. I mean, even after when we scored, even in the dying minutes, we were the ones who were being more threatening in terms of, creating chances or, looks likely to be scoring a goal. So, yes, it is personal to Arteta that, he wanted to really show what sort of a manager that he was, and then Auba was sort of wrong there.
Okay, so I'm going to bring in Deepak because I want some controversies out of this. Deepak, but when we scored the goal, like, or even throughout the game, I felt that our players were not, being chummy with Auba. Like, before this, we know Auba was one of the, one of the person that everyone was looking up to. But this game, especially, there was no friendship on the pitch. There was no friendship off the pitch. There was no feeling of that, like, oh, we know you kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I think Arteta threatened everyone. Showing
I was about to say, you have two options. You can either go and be buddy with that guy, or
like,
I don't even want to say it.
Yeah, that's it.
See, I think it reminds me of a similar incident in the past. When Van Persie moved to United, I remember this guy Andre Santos, man. Seriously, that guy. He swapped shirts with Van Persie at halftime. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I can't quite imagine that game, buddy. Seriously, I mean, hats off if it is true that Arteta really would have actually drawn the line that no making friendships there on the pitch. Then really hats off to Arteta for setting that up, because we need that sort of toughness.
No, it's not about friendship, Bob. What I wanted was, like, the same thing I was asking Deepak was, like, there is some difference between being friends with someone and acknowledging that, oh, I know you, I don't have ill feelings of you, right? But this was actually, we were not showing anything positive. We were actually hostile towards Auba in a sense. So I don't know if I'm reading too much into it. Like if I'm
I
reading too
don't
much,
think
like
so. I don't think so. We were hostile. We didn't care about Auba. We were like on point to win the game. That's all we cared about. We didn't give a shit about Auba. That's all.
hmm. But
I have something different because I noticed something on Twitter, and like I actually tried watching that thing over and over again. When we did score the goal, Auba was the person who was in the box at the edge of the box. If you notice, all apart from Saka who ran straight from the goal, no, sorry, Saka, Gabriel. Everyone else actually like ran around Auba. So he was the only one. There were about 9 people around him. And it seemed like at a point, Gabriel turned and actually yelled something at him because Auba just turns for a second and then keeps walking back.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we really like did not. There was no like ignoring him. No, even when he made like that tackle on, I think it was White when White went
White,
down.
White or Saliba, White, I think.
Yeah, White.
White.
And then
it's
Xhaka
not
came.
Yeah,
everybody came in. So I don't. I think the players, I don't know if they took it personally or if they were made to take it personally. It did work in some way. Again, like I don't know if Auba was ever going to be threatening. I wasn't like really worried about him scoring a goal. And the one chance that he could have had like was taken out of the equation by that Saliba tackle where he turned. So
there was some rumor going around that Auba had a Spider-Man mask on.
Yes, I saw that too. Behind like at Stamford Bridge, behind the goal, he had a Spider-Man mask.
I really wish Ramsdale would have taken it on, put it on himself, shit out the whole situation. Fuck you.
So yeah, so that's where I feel like they probably, like Deepak said, they probably would have been threatened by Arteta. Like you have two choices: either be buddy with him or like never play under me at Arsenal again. Like so. I'm just stretching it here, but like. That's what it seemed like. So they really did not acknowledge Auba at any point in time. The players, the familiarity or whatever it might be. So yeah, I mean, they tried to make it personal, and in the end, it didn't work out.
Okay, so the other side of it, Bob. Okay, so let's go back to the game. We've been talking about everything around the game, but to have Zinchenko come in to the starting lineup for this game. We know it's an important game. We know that, we were at least hoping for a draw from this game for us to go into the, World Cup break with being thereabouts in the top. Bringing in Zinchenko, how risky did you think it was at the start of the game?
I think when I look back at the strategy of what Arteta is trying to do since the start of the season, right after when Zinchenko has come in, I feel that whenever he is available, especially against the top 6 opposition, he's putting him on straight away. I think the plan is to go attack straight. I don't think there has been. I mean, we noticed the same thing against Tottenham as well earlier in the season. And with Liverpool, he was not sort of available. So I think we had to play with Tommy. But whenever he is available, he's been put on to the pitch straight away. And especially the fact that, if we needed to attack at someone, I felt that it paved off, even though, Tierney was awesome best against Zurich that we all saw, including the goal. Arteta really knew what he wanted to do, which is giving us, good options. Although we have 2 possible players in the starting lineup, one unfortunately being missed out. But it gives us good alternates in terms of what we want to do and how we want to approach the game.
But okay, so Deepak, I'll come to you for this. Right?
Sorry, I'll add one more thing. Even if Tommy had been available, I would have thought that he would have started with Zinchenko on.
Oh,
that's how I feel.
Who would have dropped out then?
Even if Tommy was available, Tommy would have been on bench.
Okay. Okay. So Deepak, before switching back, apart from the starting lineup, right? Like 1-0 win away from home has become the new norm at Arsenal. I'll combine that with another question, right? Like the other question is, even last season, I think we had only like 3 draws or something. And this season we have had only 1 draw. So we are becoming a team who's either winning 1-0 or winning or losing.
Yeah.
So is this kind of a marker of how Arteta wants to play? Like he wants to go for the win no matter what. And if even when we are winning, we are hanging on. I was not at any point in this game. I never thought that we were hanging on. Like usually when the last 10 minutes, and then when when there comes a additional 5 minutes coming up, I usually am pissing my pants. But this game, I was not at all worried. And looking back, it has been the same with like a lot of our 1-0 wins. I'm not pissing my pants in the last 10 minutes.
Did he not piss for Leeds game?
Yeah.
I mean,
100% you should have pissed for
yeah, Leeds is different. We had a bad game. We never played in front foot in Leeds. Southampton, yes, we played front foot, but we deserved something more from that game. But Leeds, we were never in front foot. We were playing bad. The same way how we were playing bad against PSV when we lost. But what I'm saying is like there has been a sort of sure-footedness about this Arsenal. Deepak?
This is in this game, yeah, for sure. We have been like, we completely dominated Chelsea. Coming to the point of 1-0 victories, it's not because we have been like, yeah, we have been defensively strong. It's because we are not finishing up our chances. These games could have been more than 2-0, 3-0 every single game. It turned out to be 1-0 because of our poor finishing and things. That's how I see it. But we have dominated those games completely, those 1-0 games, except for Leeds. All the other games, all the other close games have been close because of our poor finish. That's how I see it.
Even the last game when Tierney was playing, right? Like the game that he scored, we were comfortable in that game. We were never in worry of that game.
Even in this Chelsea game, Odegaard has had it's a simple chance. He didn't finish it. It could have been easily 2-0. The game would have been shut. That's all. So yeah, we have to like take these chances. Sometimes we might get punished for sure. Like because we dominate the games and
Manchester United.
Yeah, of course, yeah. We dominated the game completely, right? And we opened up and we tried to attack and we didn't take our chances. They scored and they won. That's how it turned out, right? So yeah, we have to take these chances, but there can be some days where it can happen. We might not finish and the opponent team might score, which happened against Southampton. It's the same game. We should have won it 2-1, 3-1. We didn't.
Just a question here, guys. I just wonder, how will Arteta be thinking? If you look at closely between the game that we played Leeds to the same game that we played Chelsea, it's almost the same team, right? With almost the same personnel on the pitch. Back then in the second half, we were completely panicking. I don't know why. But then if you look at the same second half,
atmosphere in Leeds, right? It was completely, we were boxed in and the crowd was behind them. If you see in this game, the crowd was.
We heard like our fans singing. We heard our fans singing about Arsenal like for about like lots of parts of the second half. At Leeds, we didn't. Yeah, that's a big point.
Both the stadiums were like pretty boxed in. If the Chelsea fans had put more pressure on, like singing or pushing their team, we might have seen it like draw or something. But we completely shut them out. But Leeds is like completely, totally different. Even if they are 4-0 down, they would still keep on pushing their team to do something. So this shows like fan support plays a huge part. How the players like play.
I have another point on that. Like, I don't know. It's just a theory that I've been thinking about for the last few days. I don't know how true this is. Given like, the kind of squad that we have and the number of games that we've had to play and the lack of like, proper finishing and all that, I feel that we are taking games without like switching gears when we really don't have to. So the Leeds game, I also saw it was a combination of, had we not been 1-0, I think like in spite of the crowd thing, we might have either pushed to a higher gear or just completely collapsed like last time. We got the goal. We knew we were going. So the levels of concentration that were required at that point with the crowds going, like it was, as a certain thing was required, but it was not so bad that we had to hit another gear to score another goal. We knew that with what we had, we could manage a 1-0 draw. 1-0 farmed draws, 1-0 farmed wins are really amazing because you know that you are doing all that you need to do to get that small draw without like really having to exert yourself too much.
I know this is going to sound like a deluded Arsenal fan, but the thing is, like, these 1-0 wins kind of remind me of Manchester United City wins, right? Like they do 1-0 wins a lot, but their 1-0 wins are like by 50th minute they would be 1-0 up, and you know that this is going to stay 1-0. Right, you would
and they just toy with you for the next 40 minutes, making it seem like you're non-existent in the game and you don't deserve to play football at all.
I mean, I'm not comparing us to City at the moment, but this is how the feeling of it. Like yesterday, that's how I felt. Like when the game was happening, I was like, yeah, this. We are winning. We are winning. There was no point there when I was worried, oh, we might draw this game, or they might score a freaky goal. There was not a moment that
we have to take this moment to thank Kai Havertz for playing us for sure. Because had it been any other player there, I'm sure. I think there was every possibility that we might have even considered a goal, let alone So really, thank you, Kai Havertz.
Arun, but with the chances, right? I mean, 1-0 is great and all. There were a lot of chances though from our end of things. And to tie in that, I know we have discussed this topic a lot recently, but how much of it is Gabriel Jesus not scoring, kind of gets into your brain or fans' brain?
Yeah, but I mean, like this is a common thing that when you talk about this topic, or when you see people talking about this topic, the first thing that they say is a striker is judged by his goals. At the end of the season, that is the number that you rate a striker on, and not like what he provides otherwise, like be it assists or whatever it might be. But that is, again, like, I would have done the same too. If Nunes is not scoring goals, I'm gonna like point at that and say, hey, you wasted 80 million on a Nunes. He's not doing anything. But again, when you really look deeper into it, it's not that our system can still survive without Jesus scoring goals. But right now, whatever he's doing is helping the others in being involved in the gameplay, and in being able to show and express themselves in ways by which we can score goals. It's again the same thing that we spoke about at the beginning of the season. Where are we going to get our goals from? If we are able to spread our goals across say 7 people, and those 7 people are able to get us to the goal tally, I don't think anyone is going to complain as an Arsenal fan at the end of the season. Of course, we'll be thinking about Jesus not scoring goals. And good for us, it has not come to affect us just yet.
Okay. But that's the thing. Right? Sorry, Bob. I have a question to add on, and then you can go ahead with that. But then, Arun, like, you remember that miss that he gets? That would have been a goal of the season, right? For sure. But that, for me, I feel like it's possibly because of how he's playing his role, right? If he was playing it as a striker, that's just a couple of inches quicker, and he would have gotten there, right? He was showing it like that. If he was playing as a striker, because for me it was like it was an unfortunate lack of height on his part that he was probably pointing out, and just a little shorter. But for me, the thing is, like, in that start of the move, he was there in left back position, and at the end of the move, he is trying to get into the box. But
he did call for the ball. He did. He was I'm not questioning that, but I'm
just saying, like, if he was not required at the left back position, if he was not doing that job, he would have gotten that, a couple of inches.
We don't have the luxury at Arsenal, Vijay.
Do you know, like, we would have got the ball that far if he was not there in the left back? I don't think so.
I think our pace is working in our favor, Vijay. You have to look at the passing rhythm that we had, from converting from attack to defense. And also the other thing that, if you have probably noticed, we've been switching flanks at ease. The ball comes from the right, he quickly moves to the left, and so on and so forth. I see the chances which were given to Ben White, for example. Man, seriously, that was all crosses from the left. Right?
Also, another thing, Vijay, if you take that one instance of him not being able to head the ball in, and that he was not in position, but like most of the other chances that he's missing, he's dribbling past everybody in the box, he's getting into amazing positions, and he's hitting straight at the goalkeeper.
Fucking Silva. Thiago Silva that was a great run that he stopped with like.
Okay, guys, sorry. Just coming back, one more point to add on for Jesus. It's more a question. So, I mean, are we sugarcoating Jesus at this point? Because, like I said, was sort of doing similar link-up play. We spoke about it ourselves, I mean,
wow, that's a lie. Similar link? No. He was doing link-up play. He was trying to do link-up play.
Yeah,
I don't want to slate, like I said, but similar is a big word.
Goals. Should we be?
Yes.
We not be?
No, but that's what we're trying to say here. We were slandering him for not scoring goals, but I think it came to a point where fans started accepting that this is what Lacazette can do. And after that point, I don't think anyone was being so harsh on him. People were still harsh on him. Like, what do you expect from this guy?
Deepak was still harsh on him, if I remember it right.
Yeah.
No, but the thing, like, right now, that's how I see it. Like, I mean, his contribution. I mean, like, I don't know. Any one of you guys can correct me, like Deepak too, because like it's very much on the lines of what Deepak says. Okay, so for me, like, he's contributing in ways that are tangible. Like Lacazette is intangible vibes. We talk about like link-up play and all that. Jesus, he has got assists to show. He's showing us like 2 assists every single game. So am I worried now with his lack of conversion and lack of goals? No. If this continues for another 10 games where he would not be scoring goals or as many goals and the assists to go down, yeah, at that point I would start worrying. Worrying, but not panicking. Because I know that we still have the quality to compensate for things, and he would still be knowing Jesus and knowing the mentality that he has. He would still be doing like the 120% to get people involved in. So that would impact the team. But these chances, us missing them, will affect us in games. And that's the reason why a lot of us feel we're not ready for a title challenge.
Yeah. Now I was going to say the good thing is both Jesus and Martinelli have both been called up by the Brazil national team.
Is it a good thing?
It depends on how you look at it. I mean, it's probably good for the players.
If he had not scored in 8 games or something like that, and then if he gets dropped because of that, that would have been cruel, right? For his confidence for the rest of the season. At least if he goes there, whether he plays or not is a different question. He might get to play at some point in time, but then they have plethora of attacking talent. They might not want to play him 90 minutes for every game and all those sort of things. They have so much of options there, but at least the good thing is
I'm just hoping that he goes there when he's playing for Brazil team, convinces Neymar to come and join us. And Neymar comes and
you don't need Neymar, buddy. We don't need Neymar here. Come on, man. We are trying to build a team of good personalities.
We can say whatever we can about Neymar, but if Neymar is coming, I am taking Neymar into this team no matter what.
For sure.
He is such a big contributor.
Maybe he could convince Rafinha that we are still playing in the same league as them. They have dropped into Europa League, so you could consider his move back here. Because
who needs Rafinha when you can get Neymar? Man, come on, Bob. Be more ambitious.
They're Arsenal, buddy. Come on.
Rafinha can fuck off. He is not even worth 20 million.
I think it's fair to say even if Rafinha wants to go back to Leeds, there's no place for him. Sinistera and Somerville, they've taken it by storm that they don't need him there.
But
for Gabriel Jesus, right? Because everyone knows he's not like a prolific goal scorer. I don't know like why everyone is expecting him to score 20-25 goals. His contribution is more of like Roberto Firmino. Like we might start like defending like Liverpool fans how they start defending Firmino. So yeah, it's how like the team performs. Obviously, like.
By the way, Firmino is not included in the Brazil squad.
If the team start like losing games, probably you would see more people cursing. That's bound to happen.
But okay, so getting back to the game, Bob, about the goal scored. Even before that, right? Like I saw the stat about like us and corners, like almost. Except I think one corner that Odegaard took, all of our other corners are similar in swingers, is what the stat said. Like all of our corners, apart from one corner that Odegaard took, was in swinger. Everything else is in swinger. And I was before we scored that goal, I was a little bit worried because everything was like, in-swinger, the same pattern and stuff. But it was a good goal to score. I mean, obviously Gabriel kind of stole Saka's goal.
That ball could have actually gone into the goal by itself.
Yeah, but still, I'm happy that he did that.
Well, is that a chance that you would be willing to take?
Yeah,
especially at Arsenal in a game like this. Yeah,
I wouldn't be. But say how important this kind of like set pieces have become, especially from a time when under Arsene Wenger, I used to hate when Theo Walcott tries to take those corners, like tries to win those corners. Like I'd be like, why the fuck are we trying to win corners instead of like when we are stretching the play and trying to win corners? I'm like, unless you want to waste time, you don't. Why is Arsenal doing this? We are not a corner playing team, and suddenly the whole thing is flipped. Now we are very good in set pieces, defending it and attacking it. So how does it feel to come into a complete circle, especially in Stamford Bridge? Of all the times that we have conceded corners at the more important times, that's Stamford Bridge.
See, it feels definitely different, but then there's been a lot of work which we've been noticing as well in the last couple of seasons, at least once Arteta came in, that there's been a proper set piece coach, and he's the one, the wheels behind the motion sort of a thing. So he's the one who's sort of preparing the team against corners. And having said that, you could almost expect, I think it's become a norm now. Earlier we spoke about the fact that there are 6-7 players that we will expect them to be on the score sheet, and Gabriel is definitely there in the list, I believe. Gabriel scores such important goals, and he's been very vital to us. Again, I'll take this moment to slander the Brazilian national team for not picking up Gabriel. It's Arsenal gain for sure, but then I can't quite understand that decision. They are taking Dani Alves ahead of Gabriel.
They are two different questions.
Yeah, sort of a thing. But
that
then,
guy from Juventus, yeah.
Bremer.
Yeah, he should have been picked ahead of them. Yeah.
I can't quite understand this whole thing, but it's good for Arsenal for sure that Gabriel is not going in to the World Cup. But most importantly, we are there. And if you notice, right, he was there. He was not in the center of the goal. He was there towards the left side. So he was sort of expecting, if at all the corner or the shot from the corner goes too wide, he was there to cover for it, like in the far post, not the near post, sort of a thing. So his positioning was spot on, I would say. And as I said before, probably it could have gone in by itself, but would we have taken the chance? No, we wouldn't have. So it's good that he got his boot in there to that goal. So yeah, totally much appreciated, and I'm I've now started becoming a fan of all these set pieces and corners.
Around the other side of it, yes, scoring the goals and all those things is different, but also like we did really well from the defensive side of things. When we are talking about 1-0 wins, it's always like the 0 is the most important part of the 1-0 win, right? Like where we keep the clean sheet away, especially when this is a 1-0 win. And we have talked a lot about Saliba, but we have to talk about him in this game. He was immense in this game, like really, really, like I think he made one mistake, even that he corrected himself when Broa went in and stuff. But he was, for a 21-year-old, he's going to be starting this World Cup for France, right? Like
I'm thinking more about like what could happen in 2 years down, 2 or 3 years down the line. Of course, we spoke about like other clubs coming to poach our players and all that. I think he'll probably be, all this while we were thinking Saka was going to be that player who will get poached first. But I think like with this season and all that's happening, Saliba has probably taken that spot. I mean, like the amount of maturity, the level of maturity, and
there's so many of them. There's Martinelli, there is Saka, there is.
No, but I think like this season, defenders are precious commodities. You can get like a lot of wingers, a lot of attackers. A defender who can do what, because usually like your defenders mature later. You never get a defender doing this well at 20 years of age. Your attackers, yeah, because they have a lot more freedom and they keep going on attacking. They don't have any restrictions. Defenders have a lot more restrictions. With that, a 20-year-old is being like this composed and able to have such a good head on his shoulders to do the things that he's doing on the pitch without as much as breaking a sweat. Like I said right at the beginning, that thing that could have been a chance for Auba was taken out of it within an instant because of how well he was able to anticipate that ball from Silva coming in. He was almost like wrong-footed Saliba. He almost like moved to the other side. He turned and he took the ball out and made sure that it was on the wrong side of Auba. It would never fall on his right side. That is intelligence that is way ahead of what you would expect from someone who's 21. As a center back, especially, like they're not supposed to take those decisions. The guy is actually colossal in what he's doing right now. And I wouldn't say it's just Saliba. Ben White has been immense for me in my eyes. Yeah, we are putting all the exposure on on Saliba, which is making Ben White go under the radar. But for me, what Ben White is doing and what he's done so far, it might not be as glamorous as Saliba does. Probably helps that you have a really tall figure and you're faster. But what White is doing is unbelievable. He, for me, has been our best defender this season. And again, it's not just down to Ben White and Saliba or Gabriel, but how we are defending as a whole, as a unit. When one person makes a mistake, you know for sure that we have enough quality around that person making that mistake to cover up for him and make sure that it doesn't become something big. And even if it does end up being big, we have the quality to overcome that and score a goal. I think that's the main reason why we are able to do all of this, because we are defending as a unit. We are defending as 10 people with the ball. Like what Rio Ferdinand mentioned yesterday, like our off the ball movement was unbelievable. Like we were ready to put in the hard yards. We were ready to go in, press that aggressively high up the pitch, whether we were when we were taken off the ball, we got it immediately. The second balls that we got were immediate. We went for all the aerial duels, we went for all the high balls, everything. So this is more down to the system and how we are playing together well as a team rather than just one person. That one person being standout is, of course, helping. Like you wouldn't be able to imagine this sort of a situation when you have Mustafi, Socrates, all of those guys around, because that if Mustafi... That's the thing. If Mustafi makes a mistake, Socrates is going to only make things worse. He's not in an attempt to make things better. But right now we are not getting that because of the quality of wrestler and the system that we have in place, the player positioning. So it's a whole thing. It's not just it's a sum of the parts that is making this entire thing look way bigger than it is. We are punching above our weight. We cannot deny that. No one would have expected a team with this age, this levels of experience and maturity to do what we're doing. And it's all down to the system and the players and one man, Mikel Arteta.
There is one more man that I wanted to talk about, Deepak, is Xhaka, especially that incident about... definitely we'll talk about that, Bob. Definitely we'll talk about that. But I wanted to talk about Xhaka and the instance that happened, right? It was 90 plus minutes when something happened, when he pulled Kukureya and stuff and all those things, yes. But my thing is he has been becoming more and more mature of walking away from the fight. He didn't even get a yellow card after that fight, which was great thing to see.
Surprising.
Is that Anthony Taylor? Maybe had Mike Dean been there or Paul Dini been there, it would have been different, no?
But he walked
it's
away.
It's probably the trolley smile that saved him at the end, the kind of smile that he had on his face. You do whatever you want. I'm not gonna fall for this. No baiting me.
But Deepak, yeah. So the mental side of Xhaka, just talk about that a little bit.
No, it was good to see him riling up Chelsea fans and Chelsea players, which was good actually. But given that every referee knows that they are gonna book him, I would still avoid doing this.
See, there's a secret art in football called as Shithousery, right?
See,
Xhaka is not a master of that. We've seen enough instances.
But he's trying to be. That's what I'm trying to say here. He has never been good at that in the past, but now he's trying to be. I think he's getting very good at it. Really, if I were to say that, because if you remember Fernandinho, how much fouls has he committed without getting a card?
That is Shithousery is different and making like these fouls are different. See, Fernandinho knows when to make a foul and he escapes it. Rodri does that every season after
Every single game,
Fernandinho.
yeah.
Every single game he does that. Xhaka doesn't do that. Xhaka does stupid things, which has reduced completely. That is good actually. Given that because he's playing more upfront, which avoids
Yeah,
him making these stupid tackles.
yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
system change has helped him a lot actually, where he's playing and you put him again in Partey's position, you would see him go back to his old self for sure. Because
But you
tackling has
don't need to
never
do
been
that,
his
buddy.
strength. Yeah, tackling has never been his strength. None of the managers, like even Arsene Wenger, was like it was surprising to see that Wenger didn't understand this at first. So it's good to see like Arteta pushing him up front and playing. This is what he used to play for his team, national team. This is what he does.
He
So
plays
I
as
didn't know
number
like
10 for them.
yeah. So I didn't never understood like why all the managers wanted him to be the most deep line playmaker. Maybe because of his passing, but now we have a better player in that. It's good to see like Saka performing well.
Now you can go, Bob. Now you can talk about Partey. Now that
Guys,
Deepak has
Partey
brought
is
it
the
right
best.
there.
I've
Partey is
been
the
I've
best
been
defensive
following.
midfielder in Premier League right now.
Okay.
Bob, go ahead.
I've been following Atletico for a long time, as you all know, right? You won't believe me if I say this. Partey used to put this performance every game against every opposition. He wouldn't really get injured. He wouldn't be out of the team. He would be featuring in most of the games, and you wouldn't even notice that he is there. But he would be breaking down the defenses, breaking down attacks in every game that he's played for Atletico. And when we signed him, this was the sort of presence that I sort of expected, or all of us. Many of them didn't know who he was, to be fair, and they never got to see. They were completely, with Arsenal fans, they are fickle, with me included. So
Oh,
we
football
just
fans are fickle. Why just Arsenal? You're probably like one of the worst in the spectrum, but still, everyone's fickle.
yeah. So we are the deepest of the Reds, probably in that way. But to say that, it's good really that Partey has been able to maintain his fitness, and he's been able to maintain the composure. I think as long as he's fit, right, he'll keep putting this sort of performances almost every game. I still have to mention this again, that it was sort of silly for them to miss that goal or miss that chance. He should have buried that chance again, and he got there, but that was just an odd sort of a thing that you could take away from, apart from his wonderful performance. Seriously.
Okay, last question to you guys before we wrap this episode up. Right now, where do you see Arsenal finishing this season?
Second.
Arun?
Second or third.
Bob?
Second or third.
Okay, that's
In
The
no way
odd
we are
Arsenal
winning
fan in
title.
me is still making me that we'll finish in top
I'm not
four.
thinking about title, but like we are the team that's closest to last season's winners. That automatically makes us like a title challenger right now, whether we want it or not. That's like an added pressure on any team, and we've seen like how teams have performed. We cannot get out of top four from here. Like like we were discussing in the beginning of before we started recording. It needs something like a colossal failure to happen, like some natural disaster to happen. It's only at Arsenal for us to get out of top four.
Don't tempt fate. Don't tempt fate.
So I won't do that. And at the same time, I also feel that where we are going to be getting that the spots that we achieve, whether it's 2 or 3, depends on a little bit of reinforcement as well. So that could be the difference between us finishing in a second or a third spot at the end of the day. If you ask me if I'll be disappointed if after all this we still finish only 4th, I don't know. Right now, I don't know. But I don't see us winning.
We shouldn't be disappointed. I think we have to make ourselves clear. The start of the season, we targeted top 4. As long as we achieve that, even the fact that we were on top for 37 weeks and then we faltered at the last minute to dramatically finish 4th, we shouldn't be getting any disappointed or anything.
Okay, that sounds good.
There is no difference between 2, 3, 4. So
Yeah.
Because everyone knows City is going to win the title, no matter what. Fucking Liverpool won 99 points and still lost the title.
That's what I keep saying. Like the levels that they have set over the last 5 years are like almost impossible to breach. 92 points on an average over the last 5 seasons. Invincibles got 90.
Yeah. All right. So that's on that happy note. I think I call this podcast to an end, but definitely that was a great win, and hopefully like we have one more win to go before going on to this World Cup break. Thank you, folks. Thank you for joining in, and for everyone who's listening still, please do like, share, subscribe, and comment in. Bob, I did say it again, and do subscribe if you haven't subscribed to us, because we do post content on a regular basis, at least on a semi-regular basis. So
and your support gives us all the motivation to keep going week after week after week.
Awesome.
If you subscribe, Arsenal will win the title.
There you go. That's an advantage.
Suddenly Deepak became
You should have said that at the start.
Suddenly Deepak became AFTV. Like you just have to graphics him out and like replace him with the AFTV logo. But that's all. That's all good. So thank you everyone for support till now, and please do continue supporting us. Please do reach out to us in social media platform if you want to be part of any of the shows. If you want us to discuss something, if you actually want me to shut up, so all those things you could literally reach out to us on our social media platform. And thanks again guys. Talk to you next time. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.